spent the long weekend up in the York Peninsula in Port Vincent. So my grandma has lived there my whole life, so got a house down there. The whole family goes up for Easter and Christmas, and it's just a good time being down by the beach.
Yeah, very nice.
So one of the nights we were up there, I went down to the local pub with my sister's partner, and I guess the best way to describe him is he's a bit of a loose bloke.
He's very loose, and it's one of those... he's the sort of guy that when your sister starts dating, you think, great, this is awesome. You know, locking contract with a pretty loose guy that also likes to, you know, have a good time.
I think it was like early on into their relationship, like first few months, and he came along to the top 92 of 2022. And I believe that night he may have kissed Irene, Davo's mum, on the lips.
He did. He did. Yes, straight off the bat, I think everyone knew he was a bit of a loose cannon. He was going to be a good time to hang around with.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're at the pub, he's telling me the story of when he lived in Canada. It was a story of deceit, Callum.
Yep.
Greed, redemption. The chronicles of how he became a barista.
Hey, the modern day soap opera.
Yeah. So basically, while he's in Canada, they're up at a ski lodge, and they've gone up to the top of the hill. You know how you catch those things up? They
take the chairlift.
Top? Yeah. So they're all up there, and I guess instead of doing single interviews, because it's one of those ski lodge winter jobs and so many people are coming through, they just sort of lined up all these people that came through and said, all right, just line up and prove you can make a coffee. Here's a coffee machine. When you get to the front, make me a coffee.
Yeah, cool.
So they're all lining up. He's towards the back. People keep coming in behind him, and he'll be like, mate, you go ahead. You go ahead. I'm all right. I'm set.
So he's doing the, I'm going to play a nice guy to avoid any signs that I don't know how to make a coffee.
Well, who knows if he can make a coffee or not.
Yeah.
He's just moving to the back of the line, letting people go ahead of him. And then finally, it gets to him. And he's goes to the front of the line. He's the only one left. Guy points to him and says, all right, mate, come step up, make me a coffee, let's find out. And he's stepping up. He's about to turn the machine on. And then he sees the time and goes, oh, crap. Isn't the last lift about to go down the hill? Like, do we need to catch that? And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. We should probably go. You can make a coffee? And he goes, mate, I shouldn't be telling you this. I don't want to brag, but I'm actually one of the best baristas back home in Australia.
Well, as if it's like the James Bond of making coffees. I shouldn't tell you my credentials, but I'm pretty damn good. I'm well respected in the industry, but it's all a bit of a top secret.
Bloke's ears pricks up. He goes, perfect. Beauty. You've got a great barista here. All right, you're hired. We'll head back down the hill. Then the next day is his first day at work. He gets up in the morning, goes there. He's making coffees. Guess how it went? Yeah, horribly wrong. Yeah, he's never made a coffee in his life.
It's a pretty daunting thing as well.
I don't think you'd even use an espresso machine at this point. Maybe just the instant.
And I feel like if you don't know how to make a coffee, if you're looking at one of those massive machines you see in the cafes, you're thinking, holy crap, this looks like a nuclear power site, all the buttons and everything.
So he didn't know how to froth the milk, so he's putting that in. There's milk going everywhere. Some bloke asked for a cappuccino. He comes back. He's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
He's like, cappuccino. Boss comes in. He worked there for less than half an hour. The boss strolls in and he goes, mate, I thought you were one of the best baristas in Australia. And he goes, yeah, look, I lied to get the job.
Yeah, I meant best barista in my household in Australia.
And so then he's like, oh, look, on a professional sense, you're a dick, but I like you on a personal level, so let's go find you another job somewhere. And he's ended up working in the bar.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good turnout, isn't it, for lying straight to your boss, being a little bit petty and trying to avoid, and then just getting another job out of it.
Absolutely. So we want to open up the text line. When did you fake it?
Yeah.
Did you fake it to get a job? Did you fake it to impress a girl or impress a boy?
I remember when I was working at the paddle boats and the Popeye and all that, they expected you to know a bunch of different knots and everything to tie up the big Popeye, like the ferry boat.
Yeah.
And some of the knots were like kind of complicated, and they said to me, oh, do you know how to do, you know, the hangman's whatever?
Listen here, buddy. I was in the Scouts.
I was like, yeah, of course I know that knot. So they get you to tie up this ferry boat using that knot, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I just wrap around the rope around the pole and just feed it through. And I was like, the boat could float away. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, but I will hang that on the line just to not admit I don't know how to do this knot to these people.
We got Taylor from Workday texting in saying she used to work for Flight Centre, but before you're hired, there's 3 interview processes, and the last one is a test on capital cities and country names. but they left you alone in the room to do the test. So she Googled the answers and got hired, didn't know a single answer.
That's can you imagine that they probably have cameras installed in the interview rooms just for this reason? Someone popping
She
on
still
their
got
phone.
hired. Why not?
Too bad. Someone here said got offered $70 to be an offside ref in a local soccer match. No idea how offsides work, but I knew I wanted that $70, so the whole game I just ran up and down and didn't go offside once. Jeez, imagine the players thinking, "Oh, jeez, it's a bit relaxed. It's a bit
Surely that was
relaxed today."
offside. To be fair, offside is one of the more confusing rules in sport. Got another text here. Morning, fellas. I still fake it to this day. I don't know anything about Microsoft Excel, so I started outsourcing my Excel work.
Hey, nice work. No one knows how Excel works. So
No one does.
I don't
No
even
one
know
knows
who
the shortcuts.
I think even the person you'd be outsourcing Excel work to probably doesn't know it to a T.
Yeah, absolutely not. I don't think even Bill Gates.
Oh, surely. He would still need a crash course, I'd say.
Absolutely.
This one here, I play a bit of guitar and somebody offered me a cash job to be their sound guy for one of their shows. Had no idea what I was doing with all those buttons. I'll never forget the screeching sound coming from the speakers. Just ruined this person's concert. They never get a music career after this.
Someone's texted in here saying I once faked an injury to have some time off of work. Just really needed some time off.
Jeez, get a PI onto that
Fair
one.
enough.
Once faked to be a high school student on the train to use the cheaper high school student Metro card.
Yeah, I've done
That's
that.
a tough one to do as well.
I did that for a few years out of school, I think.
Just doing a fake beard.
Got another text here. Once faked, g'day boys, I fake knowing nothing about technology so I can make my son fix it, and when it goes wrong, it makes him feel wanted, I guess. It gives me time to relax. Trav.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for getting involved, Trav.
Got this one here as well. I went for a job interview and lied on my resume saying I could speak fluent Mandarin. This is crazy.
Ooh, what?
Turns out, so could the person interviewing me. That's nuts. Needless to say, I didn't get the gig.
And Callum, keeping on the trend of the long weekend, of course, got up to Port Vincent and the York Peninsula and got up to a few things, bit of mischief here and there. And one of the nights, we decided to go swimming in the ocean.
So at the moment, who's we? Is this, is this...
Me and my sister's partner, the one I talked about
Right.
before, the loose guy.
Yeah, because I was thinking, the clientele at this family thing at Port Vincent, I mean, the loosest person is your, Luke, the guy that's dating your
sister's
sister.
partner. Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be your grandma going skinny, going swimming.
There was no skinny dipping. In fact, I did go skinny dipping the day before.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But this night, we decided to go for a walk down to the jetty, down to the wharf, and thought, let's do some jetty jumping. Bit of fun.
Cool.
But you know me and how terrified I am of the ocean. I'm a big fan of the sand, not so much the water.
I thought it was a bizarre thing that you'd hopped even near the water. You're a bit of a cat when it comes to the ocean. So you don't like jumping in. So I was like, someone must have been there to coax you into going.
Yes, there was. Yes, Luke, my sister's partner, took me down there, and we're sort of looking down into. It's nighttime. It's kind of pitch black, not many lights around. We're looking down at the water, thinking, geez, all right, if we're doing this, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Then there's this group of younger people just behind us, they're about to jetty jump. So they come over and they're talking us into it.
Well, now there's pressure.
There's pressure.
You got a big group behind you.
And I knew that if I kept sitting on it and brewing on the idea of jumping in, I'd end up chickening out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. So I thought,
and then your name around Port Vincent is ruined. The locals know you as the guy who never jetty
yellow
jumped.
belly. Yeah. So I'm there and I think, stuff it. I'm just going to do it, not think twice. So I run and I jump in.
Yeah.
And I go in the water and the water's beautiful. I'm thinking, oh, geez, what have I been so afraid of all this time? The deep unknown sharks, they're not going to come this shallow in, right? And then I hear someone yelling, get out of the water, get out of the water.
No.
Thinking, what's going on?
No way.
There's been a great white shark spotted just over at the marina.
Really?
About 20 minutes prior to me jumping in.
So who's come running over saying, get out, get out?
Just some random bloke. It was
What, just some random saviour has just seen you in the
So
water?
I'm in the water, and I'm like, my heart sinks, and I'm like, don't splash, don't freak out, that'll attract attention. So I'm sort of carefully, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a breaststroke, it was probably more of a doggy paddle. Yeah.
How long does that last
to
until
the
you
stairs.
think, stuff it, I'm just going to swim my heart out, you know what I mean? I feel like the silent, stealthy doggy paddle is only going to go so far until you're scared shitless and you're going to be, getting into the beach quickly.
Yeah, and I get to the stairs and I'm getting out and jump out and I run up the stairs and I'm like, you can't see anything because it's pitch black. I would have no idea if the shark was nearby. And then my sister's partner Luke goes, "Oh, stuff it." Jumps in.
Really? He jumps in.
And his logic, 20 minutes, that's long enough for the shark to be long gone.
So you almost got exiled out of Port Vincent for being a scaredy cat, but Luke, on the other hand, he's got his own plaque in the pub as the jetty jumper with the shark.
They say that the character Sharkbait from Nemo is loosely based off him.
Tom, it's so awesome when you see one of your mates on the TV.
Yeah, on the news, local news.
Exactly right.
Talking some whatever they're doing.
Oh, great fun. You always record it. It's something that you bring about at the pub. You're like, remember when you were on TV, you flash it, you show it off.
We actually, funnily enough, had a friend, Eloise, back in the day who worked at Stratco.
Yes.
And she was on the Stratco ads, on TV ads.
Yep, it was the big hype. Big celebrity around town when she got on that ad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's even cooler, I'd say, when it's not the news, but it's an actual TV show.
Yeah,
so
right.
one of our mates, Anton, I had no idea, but I was watching the Wolf Creek TV show the other day.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, I'll give this a crack.
Random, but
it is a bit
alright.
random, but yeah, it came out around 2017, something like that.
Yeah,
and it's got the original, it's got John Jarrett, so he plays Mick Taylor, the killer from the original Wolf Creek movie and stuff, and it's a decent TV show. But it gets to the point where this Swedish tourist pulls up next to John Jarrett.
Yeah.
And he winds down the window, starts speaking in a thick Swedish accent.
Okay.
And then I look at it and I think, is that Anton? And I was like, how the hell did Anton get into the Wolf Creek TV show? I mean, I know he does a bit of acting around the place, but he's never mentioned it.
Yeah, that is a pretty big deal that he hasn't mentioned that. And he has done quite a lot of acting gigs. Like he just got a Netflix deal across the line last year. But this is back in 2017.
Yeah, and
this is prior to us really knowing him.
And it was one of those he's just never mentioned before. And I paused it and I sent him a picture. And I was like, Anton, mate, are you in Wolf Creek? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, great, I'm going to love this. I've got a mate in the Wolf Creek TV show. Give it maybe 4 more minutes. Dude is slayed off by John Jarrett.
Spoilers.
I was like, I just shot him a message and I was like, bad luck, mate. Just saw you got killed. It felt like a personal thing. I was like, you have the TV show. What's the point of watching it now?
Did you continue to watch it?
A little bit, yeah.
Everyone loves animals, right?
Sure.
And everyone loves one of those heartwarming stories of someone rescuing an animal. And over in England, an elderly woman has done just that.
Yeah.
She spotted a curled up baby hedgehog just in the gutter, and she's run right over to it, see if it's okay. And it wasn't moving or anything. So she's scooped it up into a box, she's taken it home, and she's left it in a warm spot overnight. She's doing everything right. She's trying to feed it, give it some water to drink. But this hedgehog just wouldn't eat or drink. It could barely move. It wasn't moving, in fact. So the next morning, she's rushed it to the vet.
Yeah.
And the wildlife hospital manager there, Janet Coetzee, is like, okay, you've done everything right. Thanks for coming along.
Well, I mean, she sounds like a good Samaritan, doing like you said, everything right. I know a lot of people would bypass this and think, screw it. So good on her for, taking the hedgehog under her wing.
Absolutely. So Janet Coetzee has then taken the box and she's taken it into the triage room at the vet. And then she's realised, this doesn't look right. I don't think this is a hedgehog.
Really different animal.
She's thinking it could be a different kind of furball animal. So she's picked it up and she's felt the weight of it. And she's like, hang on a second. This has no weight at all to it. I don't think this is any sort of animal. So she's looked at it closer and she's figured out it's the pom-pom off of someone's beanie.
Did she do the jabbing with a stick routine? Just, getting a bit more forceful. As you're like, I don't think, just soccering it down the vet aisle. Jeez, that's crazy. I mean, how did the woman not even realise the initial lady who picked it out of the gutter? Surely you're grabbing it and you
Well,
think
she didn't
it's
touch it, is the
Right,
thing.
okay.
She scooped it up with a box.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then, left it overnight. Just chucked some food in the box, some water, didn't touch the food, didn't move, and that's why she thought something was wrong. But obviously she didn't want to touch it. She didn't know what kind of diseases it might be carrying or, whatever. So she didn't touch it. She didn't pick it up. She didn't know the weight of it. And just, I guess, from the top, it looked like a baby hedgehog.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was just the pom-pom off of someone's beanie.
God, you look like an idiot as the vet as well if you're, using a stethoscope and you're getting the other vets to come in and say,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
can you check out this one? It's
Scalpel.
a bit odd.
Syringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's come out and it's gone online. It's gone viral. Everyone is saying that this elderly woman who's tried to save the pom-pom,
Yeah.
they're all loving her, saying, bless her cotton socks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What a good Samaritan.
You've got a cheerleading organisation saying, can we adopt your pet? We need the pom-pom for a few of the dancers.
It's going to be our new spokesperson. We've touched on it a couple of times this morning, but yesterday, of course, was April Fool's Day.
Yes.
And we saw a lot of large, incorporations getting in on the fun.
Oh, it's a day everyone looks forward to, isn't it? I guess, some people relish in, Christmas, seeing your family, Easter having the chocolates, April Fools for the pranks. Some people just absolutely love it.
Yeah, and some of these pranks, they sound so good that, you think, well, why would they lie about
Yeah,
this?
don't tease us. This actually sounds like a really good product that you could put on the shelves, and I would buy that, as weird as it sounds.
And I've found an article of some of the April Fool's pranks that people wish came true.
Alrighty.
We're going to kick things off with Domino's doing frozen pizzas.
Genius. Why even joke about it?
Well, it's actually not a bad idea at all, is it?
I'm sick
Imagine
of these...
that. You go to Coles and then you just got a Domino's frozen pizza.
Yeah, I'm sick of these large corporations, teasing us consumers with these awesome ideas. I don't see why you wouldn't invest in that.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a ripper idea that would make them a lot of money.
Definitely, it's good for them.
Next April Fool's Day prank people wish were true was Alexa's dog mode.
Oh, yeah?
Now,
Alright.
I hadn't heard of this one, but it was Amazon pranking the Brits by announcing the launch of an Alexa that could translate dog barks into English.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one. Obviously, if it were to be true, yeah, you would use it, but, that is a bit out there.
Yeah, so you'd say, Alexa, open dog mode, and then it would go into dog mode, that your dog would bark at it, and then it would need the requests of the dog.
God, if that was real, though, can you imagine if you found out your dog was just a massive jerk? And just saying some pretty awful stuff, like, really... My dog's... What's wrong with your dog? Yeah, he digs holes in the backyard. What's wrong with yours? He's very un-PC. He said some things about my in-laws that were pretty out there.
The next one is, Baby Bell, the little cheese?
Yeah.
It's Baby Bell getting hot. It was them saying that they were going to infuse Baby Bell with the world's hottest ghost peppers.
All right.
So they were going to call it Baby Bell Inferno. It was going to be like a real hot cheese.
Yeah, you know what? Like, people would get around that for the novelty. Everyone loves a bit of spicy stuff just to see how hot you can actually take it.
Yeah, on a platter on the weekend.
Yeah.
And this one, I've saved the best for last, mate. This one's called the Beer Skit.
The beer skit.
The Beer Skit, it was a brewery launching a biscuit edible pint glass
Ooh.
that you would put beer into and then, encourage beer and biscuit consumption.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so this is a full-on, biscuit pint glass. It looks unreal. It's got chocolate coating up the top and down the bottom, I guess for extra structural integrity.
That's just a new thing we leave for Santa in Australia. That's, instead of the milk and biscuit, give him a pint.
Biscuit. But no, it looks unreal. So you just take a sip of beer, you bite into the biscuit part, and then happy days.
Oh, you know what? They've shown all their cards.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
wait for someone else to take these ideas. I think we should be the founders of the beer skit.
The beer
Let's
skit.
take it for a ride if they're not going to use it.
Let's make it work.